New members from the former communist bloc, the organizations claimed a critical role in helping to foster these fledgling democracies. Its work in the Balkans after the breakup of former Yugoslavia has been significant, according to Paddy Ashdown, who was the United Nations High Representative for Bosnia to oversee post-war reconstruction. Bosnia joined the Council of Europe in 2002. Paddy Ashdown says through its constitutional reform body, the Venice Commission, even the UN was kept on its toes.
One of the profound things that the Venice Convention could do was to challenge me. And I always used to say that in Bosnia, if I passed any decisions which were contrary to the Constitution of Bosnia, they could take me up in front of the Council of Europe, and that was an important factor, that I should be held to account. So yes, I think it was very important. You know, NATO can make things happen overnight. The European Union can make things happen over years. The Council of Europe creates a framework in which change and metamorphosis can happen over a longer time frame, and we need all of those three institutions. And I think without that, the development of Bosnia would not have occurred even so far as it's arrived so far.
Serbia's ambassador to the Council of Europe says for her country and the Balkans region as a whole, the Council's work has been important.
The Council of Europe and the core values of this organization are extremely important for our region, for our countries, transition countries, or someone preferred to say democracies, because with Council of Europe in full cooperation, fulfilling our commitments and obligations, we are sometime initiating or building or developing our democracy, the full protection of human and especially minority rights. Then we are, let's say, consolidating the rule of law, and those are the core values of this very organization.
For Europe's newly independent states, membership of the Council of Europe is prized, but sometimes highly controversial. Kosovo's unilateral declaration of independence from Serbia has left that country's ambassador bracing herself for a fight in the Council of Europe should Kosovo apply for membership.
Those who would like to become member states must be states, first of all, recognized states. And this is not the case of the region of Kosovo. And this is not up to the Council of Europe Committee of Ministers body, regardless bilateral recognition by some countries, to discuss this issue, and in this way to lose even the opportunity and possibility to do utmost in accordance with the mandate of the Council of Europe.
Members of the Council of Europe may derive a status from membership, but in theory they're subjected to a scrutiny that can be exacting and even politically embarrassing. That relies on the independence of the Council, though. It was with that aim that the post of Human Rights Commissioner was set up 10 years ago.
First of all, I'm independent, which is very important. So governments cannot pressure me to do anything they would like me to do. My only loyalty is with the Convention, the European Convention, and the other human rights treaties in the Council of Europe. So that is the basis for my work. I go to countries and I talk not only with governments, but also with non-governmental organizations, ombudsmen and other national human rights institutions. And I go to the various places where human rights may be at stake, to prisons, to shelters for battered women, refugee camps, schools, psychiatric hospitals and other such institutions. And that hopefully gives me some credibility when I ask governments to do reforms for human rights.
But it's the European Court of Human Rights that challenges member states most directly, and in countless cases has forced them to change their laws. In 1953, the Council of Europe's Convention on Human Rights came into force. The court came 4 years later to enforce this list of rights and freedoms. Since then, protocols have been added, all binding on member states of the Council of Europe. Last year, Turkey and Russia were found to have violated the convention most often, but few European governments have escaped judgment. Britain's been hauled up on a number of occasions. In 1995, the court said the UK government had violated the fundamental right to life when its agents killed 3 unarmed Irish Republican Army members in 1988 in Gibraltar. In 1999, the court found the trial of 2 11-year-old boys for the killing of toddler Jamie Bulger was unfair, and it said the fixing of their sentences by the Home Secretary was a breach of their human rights. Diane Blood had already won her case to have a baby using her dead husband's sperm. In 2003, under the Convention of Human Rights, she won the right to register him as the child's legal father without going to Strasbourg. That's because in 2000, Britain incorporated the convention into its own national law through the Human Rights Act. In 2004, Germany was forced to change its laws on privacy after Princess Caroline of Monaco won her case at the court. Her country had only just joined the Council of Europe. She argued successfully that her right to a private life had been breached by personal photos published in a German magazine. This is the main hearing room then?
Yes, this is the main hearing room of the court, and when the court decides in a case to have a hearing, it will take place here.
And the important thing is that people can actually bring cases directly to the court, can't they?
Yes, this is what we call the right of individual petition. This is an essential feature of this system, and if you ask anyone in any part of the world that knows anything about law and you mention the right of individual petition, they will talk about this court.
In the mailroom of the court, that right of every individual to petition directly from the 47 members is clear. They get thousands of letters here every week from every corner of Europe. Each case is carefully examined and assessed. Lawyers will judge what's a matter for the court. They take the right of individuals to petition the court seriously here. Here in the mailroom, every letter they get receives a response and is examined by a lawyer to see if there's a case to answer. But sometimes that's easier said than done. More than half the letters they get are written by hand, and some of them, like this one from Slovenia, are pretty much indecipherable. But as new members join and the work of the court and the right of individuals to petition it becomes better known, the workload and the number of cases has been growing spectacularly. The deputy registrar here says it's reached critical proportions.
The court, as has been said by a lot of people, is the victim of its own success. After 1989, when Central and Eastern European states ratified the convention community, that is to say, that number of citizens that were, or individuals that were able to bring cases to the court, multiplied in a rather dramatic way. And one of the consequences has been that the court has quite a large backlog. It's a large backlog. There are now 105,000 cases pending before this court.
In an effort to tackle the growing mountain of unheard cases, member states have agreed a set of administrative reforms known as Protocol 14. The trouble is, one country, Russia, is refusing to endorse it.
This protocol met with a lot of success. It's been ratified by 46 out of the 47 member states. It requires unanimity. The 47th state, Russia, has not yet ratified it. This is a matter of concern to the court and to the Council of Europe generally, because it's holding up an important reform. It's too early to say whether that protocol will not be ratified by Russia, and we entertain the fond hope that as a result of diplomatic pressure, things will change in the course of 2008.
The refusal of Russia to agree these vital administrative reforms is just one of the issues to prompt the question, is the Council of Europe better at dispensing rights than enforcing responsibility? More than any of the 47 members of the Council of Europe, Russia has been singled out as being the naughtiest boy in the club for its attitude to press freedom, the actions of its security services, and most recently the way it ran its presidential elections. But when it comes to Russia, this institution, the guardian of human rights, is often accused of being too soft. Russia joined the Council of Europe in 1996, but membership was delayed for 4 years, mainly because of concerns about the alleged torture and murder of civilians by Russian forces.